Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you might be in the world. A warm welcome from Dubai, from the COP28 United Nations Conference on Climate Action. And my name is Miroslav Polzer. I'm the Executive Director of the civil society organization, UNFCCC Observer Organization, IAAI GloCha, and I'm also the Strategic Director of the Climate Chain Coalition. And these two organizations, in collaboration with Joanneum Research, we are jointly organizing this side event, and the topic of the side event is data, digital tools, research, education, and gamification for all of society climate action empowerment. So the key elements, I know there are many words here, but the key elements here are that we need, on the one hand, all of society engaged in climate action, because it's a global challenge. That means all global citizens are affected, and all global citizens are part of the problem and therefore also part of the solution. And IAAI, my organization, it stands for International Association for the Advancement of Innovative Approaches to Global Challenges. And this approach, this innovative approach that we have, is that we have to build an ecosystem, some kind of next generation of the United Nations system for non-state actors, building on the pillars of culture and technology and organizational innovation. So it needs a complex answer, complex response to this complex challenge, and therefore we have several partners and solution providers which are part of our ecosystem, our consortium, that will speak to you. And as regards the identification of the problem, and so we have invited our associated Ethan Kring from from Los Angeles to tell us how do you see this climate crisis, climate situation as a Gen Z representative?
Yeah. So I've got a little thing written up here. Rather than sort of defining myself through titles or accolades, I would want to present myself just as authentically as possible, which is as a young person navigating a complex world and essentially trying to find balance between my personal needs as well as global responsibilities. Given that there's a lot of different things that we want to touch on this panel, the first thing that I would dive into is technology. In the digital era, we've all experienced the rapid evolution of the internet, social media, and technology. My focus is going to be a little bit less on that, and wanting to explore more of the relationship that we have to technology as its role in shaping youth engagement, but mainly what that comes down to is also not looking at technology as a tool or a means to an end, but as something that can help facilitate relationship and personal engagement, personal inquiry. So I think our reliance on digital tools has often overshadowed what I think is a sort of timeless value, which I call a cultural technology. These are things like the power of ritual, shared space, shared symbols, art, and these are kind of integral to our species and have been around for a very long time, with the goal of fostering a sense of shared purpose. And that's the word that I would want to dive into the most here, is even before addressing the large-scale implications and issues of the climate crisis, looking at the interpersonal approach. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I here for? And that I hope that this conversation can not just be one of an exchange of facts or statements, but also an opportunity for inquiry on a personal level. And that I think the conversation is the thing that's really important right now, because that sets the tone for the stories that we tell ourselves, about the world, about the climate crisis, and how that relates to the solutions that we create. So those are the two things that I'd really want to dive into, which is the questions we ask ourselves and the narratives we create, and using those as a vehicle to explore our purpose as it relates to the climate crisis. So the last thing that I'll touch on is my project here. It's based on that question, what are you here for? And trying to find unique ways for people to find each other based on the causes they're here for, to get access to education, access to resources, whether that's digital tools or physical space, and doing that in a way that feels culturally significant, and not just as something that is, relying wholly on technology, but also these technologies of the heart, so to speak, ways to facilitate community aggregation, shared physical space, shared symbolism for different things, and shared narrative. So that's where I'll put my...
Thank you very much for your beautiful thoughts and also for your beautiful leadership, because you are really going from identifying a problem, suffering from a problem, to really looking for solutions in an integrated manner, and with culture as a key pillar, because I also believe there is no techno-fix. We have really to shift values. There needs to be a cultural shift, otherwise also all the technological solutions will not be deployed on the scale that is needed. And just when you talked Gen Z, and so it came to my mind, I've attended one of the Fridays for Future conferences in New York during a time when there was the UN General Assembly there. And there was a kid holding a transparent, it said, "You will die of old age, but I will die of climate change." So it's really this young generation we have to listen to, and then also provide the necessary support, the financial resources, education system support, and everything. No? So happy that you are here and that we are joining forces somehow. And talking of joining forces, I would like also now to introduce Nena Dokuzov from the Slovenian Ministry of Economy, Sports and Tourism. You are a leader in advancing these new technologies for sustainable development goals implementation, and now also here in Dubai, you have, with your Slovenian pavilion, really been champions on digital innovation for the SDGs and now for the climate. Please tell us more what you're doing.
Yes, thank you very much, Miro, and thank you for invitation for this side event. Actually, if I start, we recently prepared the strategy for digital transformation of the economy. But for COP28, we have a special program. It is also somehow connected with that strategy, because we are, as a major objective, is integration of advanced digital technologies into the into economy sectors. Okay, we are addressing four verticals, four sectors here in COP. But from the point of view of green and digital transformation. So we have advanced solutions in the field of circular economy and circular construction, because in Europe now the topic of circular construction is very important. The second topic is energy transition. So the innovative solutions in carbon trading, in marketplaces for the green transition, supported by blockchain technology, by AI, artificial intelligence, and sensorics, and corresponding technologies. The third topic is we just had today very strong workshops or panels on first covering sustainable transport. And we found out that within the sustainable transport, the use of AI, of metaverse, of Web3 is a very useful tool and very important transition into more green transport. And on the fourth, we are covering sustainable cities or cities of the future, but also the horizontal topics. One of the very important horizontal topics was sustainable finance. We know that we are facing, on one hand, the financial issues when financing sustainable development. On the other hand, there is an issue of digitalizing or tokenization of the assets, also financial instruments, how to shift to that tokenized financial instruments. It is also a question. And the third question is how to motivate financial institutions to finance into the digital assets of the companies and achieve ESG objectives that we know that are pending, but feasible easily with the use of digital technology. Tomorrow we are addressing water sector and cross-border digital infrastructures. So here I need to say that on the European level, and I'm also a member of a European Blockchain Partnership, that we are very active in it. And on the European level, we are developing European blockchain services infrastructure, and this will be cross-border and interoperable, enabling at least the use cases of self-sovereign identity. We just had a question how this is matching the centralized concept of digital identity and decentralized concept of blockchain. So this will be the next topic or the next question to be answered in the following development. But also here are certain use cases, the use cases that are helping us to achieve sustainable development goals. For example, the identity issue, the educational objective. We know that we have verifiable credentials. They can be used in decentralized and distributed way. So the qualifications can be recognized from one country to another. This is interoperable use case. Afterwards, for traceability of the food or products and materials, we have here digital product passport. We have Trace for EU, the project that is covering the traceability of products and materials on one hand, and data and documents. And it is very important how to move to that decentralized data concept to somehow come closer to Web3 technologies. We know that Web3 is still some type of centralized system. AI is also a centralized system. So this distribution and democratization of those technologies will be definitely another issue. And the third issue will be how to address that societal change and the social impact of all these technologies into for achieving sustainable development goals. So this would be for the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nena. So we have here the young person, young generation expressing the needs for stronger climate action and for an enabling environment. And we had Nena representing the national government, which is somehow in our world the key provider of public goods, of national public goods, but also the global public good delivery mechanism. The United Nations system is also built on national governments. And now we are happy to have a representative of the UN system from UNIDO, Global Clean Tech Innovation Platform. So where do you see how can organization like yours help young people to build a climate safe future? So please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Sun Young Seo. I'm here on behalf of the Global Clean Tech Innovation Program, the GCIP. It's an initiative of the UN Industrial Development Organization. And we have the mandate to fight climate action based on solutions that stem from locally developed SMEs and startups. So as UNIDO, our mandate is sustainable development, and that means often in the Global South, SME sector development. And where do SMEs come from? It comes from entrepreneurs and innovators that have a certain solution to fight challenges that they are experiencing. And in this journey, we find that engaging the youth is a crucial component because youth may experience climate challenges in a certain way. And if they have contextualized challenges, then it is right that appropriate solutions are identified, and the ones that are experiencing the challenges are best placed to provide the solutions. So through the GCIP, we take extra measures to conduct outreach activities to encourage the youth to apply and benefit from the services that GCIP provides, which includes business acceleration services that are specifically designed to accelerate the growth of clean tech solutions. So any solution that fights climate change. We have tailored coaching and mentoring programs so that the innovative ideas can go through the technology readiness level journey and reach the market in an accelerated manner. I'm happy also to be part of this conversation today because GCIP's other mandate is to strengthen ecosystems, clean tech ecosystems at a country level, and ecosystem encompasses a diversity of actors. And as the UN, we are typically interacting with governments and large industries and SMEs, but through our collaboration with you, Miroslav, we are now expanding and strengthening our network with also the civil society and the NGO constituency. So I thank you, and we're very happy to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We are also very happy and proud to be partners of UNIDO Global Clean Tech Innovation Program. And so we've seen now these different levels of societal organization where these solutions and the ecosystems are being built, but then we are coming closer to the individual with local communities, and this so-called sweet spot of global climate action empowerment. Arvid, please tell us about your initiatives and how you see the theory of change, your intervention logic to really have an impact in enabling and empowering people to take action.
Thank you. Thank you, Miro. So I'm gonna pick up on this point that Ethan and you partly were referring to, this feeling paralyzed or feeling harmed in many different ways. And I think I see many young faces in the room as well. They share the same experiences. So we see an ever-increasing eco-anxiety, as we term it, and even to a certain extent climate trauma that is actually even exceeding the other forms of trauma or in a collective way in the society. There are statistics around that 68% of the adults globally feel some form of eco-anxiety, and there's an Oxfam report which shows that 70% of the surveyed young didn't see any future anymore. So that's actually a significant topic that has to be addressed, but unfortunately not, and even not in the processes like in COP as we have in the platform here. So why I'm referring to that, because this community skills sweet spot, and which was basically, so I'm a researcher myself. Just to introduce, I'm an assistant professor at Karlstad University in Sweden and research director of the Center for Sustainability Transformation, but which basically this research, this sweet spot that we identified in 2020, that communities comprising 10,000 people, actually that led to something during COP27. So we formed something. I'm the founding director of the Long Game. And one of the reasons why we formed Long Game is basically particularly with the target of helping this young generation. And question is how? So what we identified, there is a fallacy of our education system in many different ways, but one particular way was it no ways provides the soft skills that the young generation need. Simply talking about what's a demand from the corporate sector we have today. But moreover, it's doing nothing in terms of addressing this eco-anxiety and climate trauma that the young generation is facing. And so what we wanted to do, we want to provide active hope, a term that was coined by Yona Macy beautifully. So what is active hope? So basically it takes hope a step forward. So it's not just hope that is wishful thinking, but hope that you are actively working for. So can we use education to trigger active hope? Can we engage the students into real life activities, that the social ecological activities that could be with the transition actors like farmers? There are projects going on in Germany, in Bangladesh. Can it be something form of a social media platform that will basically tell the stories of the young generation, how they feel? And so can we use education to transform this discourse that we have there and provide active hope so that we can heal climate trauma, so that we can address eco-anxiety? So, and there we are talking about digital technology or digital innovation can play a significant role, as we see, and it's been happening. I was talking about in another session how in Bangladesh, in the global south, actually storytelling has been facilitated by social media that's changing lives. I was talking about projects in Germany where students are working with farmers and taking that to the community, this sweet spot communities comprising 10,000 people actually, and influencing their parents and changing their lives. So there are real life activities that are happening. There are projects in India that are empowering women through those activities. So there is a wind of change, but we just need to bring it to this platform in the COP28. The second point I would like to make, if I'm not taking too much of your time, is something that we released today, the Global Tipping Points report. So I don't think anyone in the room will disagree with me that we don't have time for incremental action anymore. We need rapid changes. We need self-reinforcing positive feedback in the society. So that's what tipping point is in the society. For the first time in the history, we see that renewables are receiving 75% more investment than the fossil fuels. Every penny spent on fossil fuels, 1.75 penny is invested in fossil fuels. And this is not a surprise. Actually, we predicted that in 2020 in a paper, that although the primary share, in the primary energy, the share of renewables are only 2.8%, but we predicted that it will increase 4.5 times. It will double every 4.5 years. So, and we are seeing that in the things. So we need those enabling conditions that will foster those tipping points. And particularly in platforms like COP, we need to speak the language of tipping points. And digital technology has the power actually to trigger tipping points in the larger scale on the society, if we have the digital literacy, if we have the right type of governance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avid. And you have touched upon already this psychological, emotional, cultural dimension that we have to address. In this context, I'm delighted to have Irina Karagiau with us, who is the co-coordinator of the Digital Innovation, Digital Art for Climate initiative, one of our flagship initiatives. Because we have also seen, I come from science management and I love brain-heavy concepts and so, but this does not resonate. Or even the word climate action or so doesn't resonate with 90% of the people. But what resonates is a beautiful artwork or music. And so we have an engagement program which is quite successful. We are quite proud of it, and Irina is a big part of the success of it. Please, if you could tell us the logic and accomplishments so far a little bit.
Thank you, Miroslav. This is our third COP. We first brought Digital Art for Climate art competition, and we were able to bring artists from the Philippines, from Africa, from around the world, really, to this conference, and we were able to deliver their messages, deliver their experiences. We had our winner, Brix Dumas from the Philippines. He experienced on himself the consequences of the climate change because his family got affected by the flooding, I believe. And this is so important to share these stories, to really hear human perspective on how climate change affects communities and individuals. It's not just policies, it's not something abstract. Climate change really affects people's life. And Digital Art for Climate is all about community building, community of artists, community of people passionate about positive change in the world. Last year, we were in Sharm el-Sheikh with Digital Innovation Pavilion. We had a collaboration on the second edition of Digital Art for Climate. And this year, we're again here in the Blue Zone with the Digital Innovation Pavilion, featuring artists, creators, entrepreneurs, and bringing this visual, beautiful story to policymakers, to decision makers, to global community, to leadership. Because we want these voices to be part of the leading dialogue and to be part of this conversation. And most importantly, to have real impact on the real world. So we're just not, telling how important it is, because this COP is all about activism, about acting, about taking action. There is still a long way to go.
Yes, certainly.
Very long way to go. But as my personal experience, the third COP, I'm seeing change. I'm seeing big change. I'm seeing how many more people are more interested. And of course, thanks to Digital Art for Climate, because we have been reaching out one by one to multiple communities, to creative communities, to NFT artists, to digital artists, to traditional artists, to musicians. And they start getting curious. So what is COP? Why do we need to get together? Why does this exist? They began reading policies, they began reading the history of the COP, myself included, I began being much more conscious and aware of this dialogue that we are having here, this conversation as a global community. And I believe this is one of the most important achievements we have done with the Digital Art for Climate, really creating awareness and bringing artists into this community. And of course, we are launching one of the most important dates for us will be 8th of December, the day of Digital Art for Climate. We're going to have conversations, interviews, and a big announcement, which we will do on the 8th, not today. So please join us on December 8th.
Join us on December 8th. We have the press conference at 2:30 in press conference room 2. You are very welcome to join us there. And as the talk was, Christina, would you like to join us about topic of music, storytelling? It's your domain. Christina Irina is in the domain of visual art. We have then also other Digital Art for Climate partners, which we will call to the podium briefly, but let's have Christina's perspectives on the power of storytelling for transformative change.
Storytelling. Well, I have to tell you, since I've been here, I have heard this one phrase that I've heard for many, many years, and I always knew what it meant. I believe it's an African phrase that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that is truly resonating with me right now. I mean, and it's resonating with all of us because there are so many more people here at COP. We've been to COP for a long, long time. We've been coming every single year. And this time it's massive. I mean, and so we can feel this togetherness that's coming in, and it's thrilling actually, because finally it's rippling out there, I mean, for many years there were just we who kind of speak the lingo and we know, but now it's really moving forth. And it's moving forth like music can, because we're all just music, we're all frequencies. That's what we are, we're energy, we're stardust actually. Oh, that was a song. We are stardust, we are golden. Anyhow, and we started doing a music contest, when was it, Miro?
2012.
2012, Rio.
Rio plus 20.
Rio plus 20. We were in Rio, and it was wonderful. And we brought musicians from all over. They came in, and we were in a little room, and then the room got bigger, and then the room got bigger. And then a couple of years back, when the President Trump, as he was, Mr. Trump at that time, said, "I don't want to have anything to do with the UN," the mayors of the US said, "We're still in." And they held a very large summit, climate summit in San Francisco. And we got the Grace Cathedral, which is an amazing venue, and we had a 2-hour concert there. And it was multimedia. It was young. We had some young people from different parts, from some of the outlying, island nations, who showed us film and were telling us stories of, how their living room is now part of the ocean, and so we had storytelling. We had winners from our previous music competition. Sorry, a little bit brain death here. It's really happening outside, so it gets into your head. And it was amazing, and we were 2-hour concert to a packed house, and we got 15 minutes on ABC. Now, I'll tell you a little story. I had asked Al Gore if he would be our host for this concert, and he kind of said, "Oh, it's kind of a young group. I don't know about that." Anyway, so a couple of months after that event, I bumped into Al at a friend's party, and I said, "Al, how did you do in San Francisco?" He said, "Oh, it was kind of pretty rugged." And I said, "We got 15 minutes on ABC." And I think he was kind of a little bit sorry that he had not come with the young people, because we just kind of sent the message out. And it's going to happen again. We're going to have the launch on the 8th and tell you a little bit more about what we're planning. But we are planning something very exciting.
Wonderful. Christina, happy to have you with us on this journey now really since 13 years. And so we are culturally founded. So we believe in the power of culture, we believe in the power of music, we believe in the power of community. And this all we are now bringing on scale. We had pilots with hundreds of participants, several hundred thousands of views or so, but now we want really to go next level. Some announcements will be made on the 8th. We have end of May, first week of June, we will have a co-creation festival in Austria, related also to the upcoming art and music competition, co-creating the future competition, which will be have the UN Summit of the Future in September next year as the point of delivery. And now, as this event is also about digital innovation, helping to get all of society engaged and empowered, I'm delighted to have Matt Widmar with us, because you are representing a solution, you are delivering a solution for reaching the masses. And could you tell us a little bit more how you see this digital media as a tool for building a more connected global community, better informed people, and also the UN system communicating better?
I run company Perception TVCD, and we are providing cloud technology and private CDNs to telco industry, including to various government organizations and so on, for the last 15 years. And yesterday we released a new platform called Rapido. Now the difference is that we saw opportunity to launch a platform which is really focused on sustainable entertainment, educational focused platform, with the difference, if you imagine this is similar platform like YouTube, if you would merge YouTube, Facebook and WhatsApp all in one. media library, it supports all popular formats, from linear radio channels, TV channels, on-demand video, podcast, including NFTs. And we provide, to attract people which are focused on sustainable issue, we decided to allocate 20% of advertising space totally free of charge to promote sustainable issues. Also any issues which we would rate like issues to improve the world as a global, at the global scale, either being religious issues, social issues, or weather issues, anything to improve the world. Now, what's different with Rapido, apart from being very tightly focused on, let's say, active, interactive entertainment rather than passive one? We saw a big opportunity to merge this into one what we call super app. For the reason, let's say, everybody likes YouTube and it's very popular. However, YouTube wasn't designed to be really collaboration ecosystem. It was designed to be passive entertainment delivery system, where Rapido is really designed ground up to be collaboration platform, ecosystem where people can truly interactively collaborate, where they can upload their videos or images or music, and immediately they can NFT the artwork. But the main difference is our, let's say, home reach via telco syndication. With the view that for so many years we work with telco industry, the main difference between traditional platforms like Facebook or YouTube and our platform is that Rapido provides also auto-generation of traditional channels, meaning system can automatically generate a radio stream or TV stream, including with electronic programming guide, which means that channel can be then syndicated via numerous IPTV telco providers, which delivers tremendous reach. So far, coincidentally, private release of the service was done yesterday. So service is now live, and we are engaging already with telecoms, and so far we signed, we have already user base before launch, over 700 million active users, mainly through telco syndication. For example, with exposing content to mass audience, it's very important to actually accommodate linear approach TV, because still 80%, in fact, at the global level, 87% of information, entertainment consumption, it's still via electronic programming guide, via big screen EPG, channel list, rather than through apps. Obviously, young generation consume everything through apps, so in a way, we merged actually a platform to have interface where people can consume either via EPG to accommodate what we would say influencers, still people who write in the checks, approving the projects, they are still predominantly receive information via linear TV, with the view in our way all channels automatically recorded, so platform provides on all channels 7-day real-time rewind. At the same time, all the content is exposed through the YouTube type of a library, but with the difference that every item also provides interactive chat, collaboration tools, and so forth. And lastly, as a part of a platform, we also release token called Rapido token, which is basically focused at incentive. It's a reward token where especially issues for world improvement, sustainability, and so on will score the highest reward points. So again, through the again very focused approach, where even the reward system, it's really on top of the pyramid. It's actually rewarding best. It's not necessarily that one needs to score the highest audience number. The algorithm for reward scoring is really linked what the issue is and what the feedback with respect to improvements is, and obviously the reach to the mass audience. So that's pretty much the best I can describe it. It's very complex, large platform, so difficult to summarize it in one paragraph.
But thank you very much, Matt, for being here and for presenting it, because when I learned about the existence of your platform, I was delighted, because our programs are somehow nuclear power plant for social energy generation, for stories generation. And there are beautiful stories on the ground from young people, but bringing it to a global audience. The old platforms like YouTube, they benefit, and also Spotify or this kind of platforms. It's not really the creative industry which is rewarding and income generating for the creators and for the young people that we want to see. But with your solution, we have now an opportunity with reasonable funds to set up our own GloCha co-creation channel. And with the stories from the artwork, from the music itself, but the stories behind, the stories about artists and so, and then people can then turn it into a digital asset, and they are the owners, and then there is a automated, smart contract-based sharing of revenues, and then really young people can live from contributing to climate action, contributing to SDGs, building sustainable, healthy communities. And this is beautiful, and this is giving hope, and I'm looking forward to dive deeper in this, our collaboration. And with this, I would give to our Digital Art for Climate partner, Domenico now first, and then to Mari. But first, Domenico, you have been with us on the journey with Digital Art for Climate from the very early days. Tell us how you see this all of society engagement and the tools that we need for this.
Thank you very much, Miro, and thank you for inviting me to the floor. So actually, as you said, you were amazed by the platform of your colleague. I was amazed by Digital Art for Climate since the beginning. When Miroslav had described it, I say, wow, it's a visionary, and is something that we need to join. Actually, I'm Domenico Vito. I'm the coordinator of another platform that calls Hubs in Italia. Is a knowledge sharing platform, and we were feeling really on our mission, also the mission of Digital Art for Climate. They also was to bring art and bring NFTs and bring all these things into the climate action. And so we started our journey together since the pre-COP in Milan. I think it was 3 years ago now. Yeah,
2 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. And actually, we started to work together. We first make a first hackathon to design like a basic service.
Designathon. We invented something.
Yeah, exactly. Designathon was the real name. Then we started to make also some webinars to explain what are digital art, what are NFTs, and how we can connect with digital art. And actually, we challenged to create also local models to bring the digital art to youths, like we did in Milan the first time. And it has been like an amazing journey, because every time with Miro we find new ideas, new opportunities, and new solutions that we would like really to spread. Actually, the last thing that we opened like properly a page in Italian on Digital Art for Climate on our platform, but probably because we want to localize, we can say, the concept of Digital Art for Climate. And I I'm just grateful to this opportunity. I'm just grateful to have known Miro, Irina, and all the partners of the project, because I learn a lot. I bring a lot of passion on that, and I think that it's been an amazing experience so far, and let's continue like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Domenico. I just want to add to this that it was an amazing experience we had in Milan. And if we want to be successful in really building bridges, we need to touch on the ground local communities, discover artists who are undiscovered, young artists, because the art world now works in a way that if you are privileged, if you're privileged to receive a certain education, live in a certain geographical location, you can make a career and you can make a living and you can earn of your art. But if you're not, then it is a very long and challenging path. And with the Web3, we believe that we can empower many more creators, young creators, give them hope that through the digital tools, through connecting with their local communities, they can actually learn from high-profile artists, from people who already are successful in their profession. And there is so much has been done in terms of online education, and it's been helping so many people out there to get the information, the knowledge, and to form their own experiences and communities, all that being digital. And what I actually heard these days, we had an amazing team from Camille Louise Jewelry joining us for a talk at the Digital Innovation Pavilion. And when I first contacted them to invite them to this interview, they were like, "Oh my God, you're behind the Digital Art for Climate." When we heard about it, it was so inspirational. And thank you so much for bringing Digital Art for Climate to life and opening the pathway to the United Nations for so many other projects, because after we trailblazed this path, so many more creators were able to be in New York, to be in Geneva, to showcase their solutions and their art to the world leadership. And what I believe is also happening is that creators are learning about the United Nations, and so far, we actually have just one organization in this world. We can still have constructive dialogue, we can still talk about peace, we can still bring solutions, and really this is one and only place I have seen on this planet Earth where everybody's welcome, where you can be looking any way you wish, being from any race, nation, of any age, any gender, and you have the opportunity to talk, to express your ideas. And it's the place where world leaders sit at the table to have a conversation. There is no other, this is our only place where this can really happen. And this is so beautiful. And I'm really grateful to Miroslav for, opening this for all of us.
Thank you. Mari, you are also an artist. Can you tell us how you see these efforts for climate action and the role of art? How can you get people in Japan informed and inspired for this?
Okay. Oh my God, so beautiful story. I'm from Japan, Mari. I'm a visual artist. I make visual with music. So my main artist role is to visual project the images in the environment. And for me, technology, I like technology to make innovation, to make the better world. I believe in it. So I believe in this Web3 NFT technology. That's why I'm working for this NFT world space in Japan for 3 years, and I believe this makes artist community, also artist economy better. So after NFT boom for 3 years ago, so many artists, so many people raise up become an artist. I'm so surprised. Everyone talking about art more than any time before. And okay, wow, so many artists. I always believed artists make this world better, like beautiful, because artists can draw, artists can make some vision from nothing. So I believe artists' creative energy to make this world a better place, and then this technology makes the ability to connect the people, make community, membership, and also like with the economy, the funding, everything all together. So artists can create their own art, they believe the beautiful art, the people become a fan, make a community, and people can buy it, or people support it. So for me, okay, so that's why I become an NFT artist. Also, we have an NFT gallery in Japan, and we communicate, collaborate with all other. We made the exhibition in Korea, Lisbon, Paris, New York, all over the world. And digital art, the good thing as a digital art is we can just show anywhere, anytime. We don't have to carry, so it's better carbon carbon footprint.
Yeah.
And also we can do like the same time all over the world, so we can do same, like I would say, event happening all everywhere. Oh, we did Mexico.
Simultaneous, yeah.
Mexico the other day, yes. So why I'm here? Because I joined MENA Climate Week last year, and I met Milo, Elena, and a lot of people having like a great visions, like same kind of motivation to change the world, better place. Also, I believe the artists. I see a few artists here. I went to a few pavilions. I met artists, but more artists should join. Maybe it could be virtually, but I want more artists to want to join to the COP and also this climate action. So I think we believe this climate, digital art for climate, can bring artists into this climate action, because I didn't know any way artists can join, contribute this kind of world action. But we can make it happen as a competition. We can bring people, artists, also people to COP or the United Nations. That's great chance for artists, and raise everyone's consciousness up.
Exactly.
That's most beautiful part of what the role artists can do. So I'm very happy to be here. And also this year we will make a Japan award too. So digital for climate.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to, because I know Japanese artists, a lot of Japanese great artists, talented, but they're not so aware of this climate, because Japan don't have so much problems. Of course, we have like a climate change, but so I want the more artists, Japanese artists and Japanese people know and more aware about this problem and want to support more. So yes,
Thank you very
thank you
much,
for the opportunity, and I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so
and
much.
Mari is also helping us in our Digital Innovation Pavilion. That's I forgot to mention in the introduction that this is also a very important flagship initiative that we have. We're in the building number 88. We have a 50 square meters pavilion, and it's the space where digital solution providers can come, present solutions, and then interact with the global climate governance community and global climate action community. And Mari is helping me here. So since 7 days we are
Yes.
10 hours a day there, even no time for lunch or anything. Morning till evening. There, but you have done a wonderful job. Thank you also
Yes,
for
and
this.
so many great sessions, so many great speakers. I'm so happy to help you and meet people.
Super, yeah. And it's now talking about artists. It's we understand that artists are good to have. It's somehow positive emotions, inspiring. It gives a sense of cooperativeness. But very often artists are hungry. There is nobody really paying it. Even if we invite artists, very often we say, yeah, travel costs perhaps, but we don't have a budget for so. But now with this new Web3 technologies, digital collectibles and so, this is a game changer. Now we can really create mechanisms, also the platform that Matt has mentioned. But in general, we have an expert in this field, Tom Mujica, from the Bueno platform, who is also an artist and more also activist for a good world, a better world. Tom, would you like to share a few words how this you see the potentials of these digital collectibles, NFTs, to help everyone to be artists engaged and the world inspired?
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure for me to share my experience and my knowledge in this matter. Everybody knows that if you have an artist or a creator friend, he or she has struggled a lot in trying to do an exhibition. You know, in real life, you need to have a friend in a gallery. You need to have a friend, a curator friend. But on Web3 or in digital art, things are more equal now for creators, because there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of digital artists who are doing amazing work out there, but they only post their work on Instagram, they only post their work on TikTok or maybe on Twitter, but nobody pays for that talent. Now in Web3, we have the advantage of being rewarded for our creativity. And our task here in Digital Art for Climate and everything that we are doing in Bueno, Bueno is a platform which creates tools for creators and artists to expose their art out there and be rewarded. So these kind of tools and these kind of initiatives allows creators and artists to be rewarded, and not only for people or fans, we also by organizations in this case. Organizing exhibitions as the ones that we are doing allows creators to be rewarded and recognized by organizations and exhibit their work for many, many eyes. So I think that digital art is just starting, and we are doing an important thing here to make it, to achieve more people and more eyes out there.
Wonderful, yeah. And this is great work that you are doing, and providing this platform also for us at a very good conditions. So really that the cost coverage that you expect from us are really very friendly. And with this, briefly back to Mari to add some information about Earth Day Network Japan.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention, but I'm a founding member of Earth Day Japan network, and Earth Day is, of course, everyone knows about the 1970, and it's long time day for think about Earth. And Japan has the Earth Day Tokyo is from 2001, and so it's long time. They have long time, but there's no organization to connect all the dots. So we established Earth Day Japan network for this year, for the Earth Day this year. And as an Earth Day Japan, we will support the digital art for climate. We decided all the board members very happily decide to support the digital art for climate from Japan. So yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm now checking if there are any questions from internet, except cookies. Log in, okay, as a conference participant. That's a little bit complicated. So let's start with the discussion here in the room. Would somebody like to comment, share experiences, ask questions? Please. Please, if you could come there, or could somebody bring the microphone? Yes.
Yes, hi. I'd like to know if you are looking at the carbon footprint of digital art. I'm thinking in particular of video streaming platforms. Are you looking at ways to try to reduce the carbon footprint?
Yeah, that's a very important point. And when we've started, when we got the idea. Christina said we've had our music competition 11 years ago, and then now we were thinking again to do something, and then we've heard of Carbon Drop. It was a NFT sale in March 2019, 2020. And they have sold 7 NFTs for their climate action financing, and they've received $6.6 million. But they've done it on the Ethereum platform. And the Ethereum platform at the time was proof of work, and we said, okay, this is for us unacceptable. If with one transfer of an NFT, you create 100 kilograms of CO2 emissions, you cannot use this for a climate initiative. No? And then there were new platforms emerging and being developed, proof of stake based, which have then, let's say, 1 millionth of this carbon footprint. And there it's really then, there we said, yes, we are going for this, even if we have some delays in the technology readiness and so. And Irina is an expert there, if you would like.
Yeah, we've published a report on how much exactly it takes, it produces a CO2 per minting one NFT and how much energy it consumes. There's actually a lot of information, and there's an ongoing research because the technology is very new and it's being developed. But already by the research that we have available, we can see there is much more efficient than, let's say, our banking system when we transact, value in a traditional using other digital technologies. So we are improving significantly, but of course, as we are just starting this conversation, NFT community became aware of the carbon footprint very late, when they already produced the damage, and then some journalists wrote reports and wrote all these articles, why are you burning the planet, stop minting your NFTs. And this is this gap that we need to fill between innovators, technology providers, and climate action community. Because if innovators are not aware that their innovation may potentially produce a damage, like what is happening with AI right now. We don't know how much that, that collective generation, because we're all in AI now, all day asking questions, ChatGPT, about nearly everything.
What to do.
Exactly, what to do. How to solve global challenges. But there are more, I would say that technology, from what I'm seeing in the space from the reports, there is Crypto Research Institute report, there's been a report by UCL University, Oxford University. Technology is in a good place in terms of carbon emissions. Technology that we are using to build communities, to create NFTs, to create these galleries and to connect, they're much more efficient than, let's say, all these multiple in-person conferences, flying from locations, and all the companies that are actually responsible for the majority of the carbon footprint in the world.
And I can add something if I can. There's also data that says that minting one NFT on Polygon uses less energy than a tweet. And also the smart contract that we are going to use for the climate change exhibition is optimized. It's got gas optimized. So the consumption of energy is going to be less than everything that we have out there.
Can I add on? We had a ReFi, like regenerative finance is getting bigger in Web3. So regenerative, renewable resources are like energies. They use carbon credit or something to do the carbon, neutral. Or anyway, there's some DAO is working on the ReFi. So, for example, Polygon is covered with ClimateAction is a German-based the DAO, but they have a carbon credit. So we did like a ReFi event in Tokyo, ReFi Tokyo, but we calculated how many like emissions we events make, and the sponsor paid for the token so that make carbon emission to neutral. So that the way we can make some kind of carbon emission neutral. But also Polygon, my friend is like working for Polygon, and Polygon is all covered with ClimateDAO. So it's already, if we mint on the Polygon, it's already carbon credit is neutral. So they said. So
yeah, and there are most of the proof of stake blockchains are in a similar range. But thank you for the question, because it's really the digital innovation community has to be aware of its environmental footprint. As regards Bitcoin and so, I find it unacceptable that such a planetary heater exists. Really consuming 50 terawatt or so per year.
It is still better than the banking system, though, Miroslav. I must take into consideration that it is more efficient, because another thing that I want to raise here, we need to be aware of one thing. All the reports that are produced about carbon footprints cannot be verified. We get information. Corporations submit information, banks submit information, but we cannot check if those numbers are correct. But what blockchain does, it makes everything transparent. So we can actually calculate exactly the emissions of Bitcoin blockchain. We can calculate exactly what Ethereum emits, Polkadot, Polygon, Avalanche, and so on and so forth. So this is a first big step, being accountable and transparent. But what is happening right now also, we have DeFi, decentralized finance. So actually banking system is now transforming, they're going decentralized, they're realizing that this new technology is so disruptive that they have to change. So I believe that we will see a big change in the future where all systems will be more transparent and more accountable. And this is when we will really see real numbers.
Yeah. No, I 100% share this, that blockchain was transformative. It opens up a new universe of opportunities, and Bitcoin has been the first generation of this technology, and the merits are never forgotten. But we have that it still has this energy wasting processes there, and nobody is paying for the environmental damage that it causes. That's a systems failure. Yeah.
It is, but recently they are switching. So Bitcoin blockchain is run by miners. They support the nodes that support the network, and more because of all this, big bad press and bad name for Bitcoin, they got more conscious. They learned. It's like, okay, we are causing a problem, so we want to be better. So they began using sustainable green technology for mining farms. So they use solar energy, they use wind energy where it's possible. So also the miners in Switzerland, they've changed and they are adopting new sources of energy to support this blockchain, because they are conscious that, and also the country, the regulators in the countries, especially in Europe, that we are now really pushing climate pact and really pushing green energy agenda, that the change must happen, and we need to work together to make that change happen. So not blame each other for being inefficient, unsustainable, but work together and come to a solution that is positive.
And thanks also for having pointed out the role of our Digital Innovation Pavilion as a space where digital solution providers come, present what they have, and they receive feedback. And then based on this feedback, they can improve, and therefore I think we are quite relevant. And here was another contribution to the discussion, please.
Yeah, fascinating discussion, really inspiring. I'm Asim Zia, Professor of Public Policy and Computer Science at the University of Vermont, and I'm Director of Institute for Environmental Diplomacy and Security there. And I have in my social ecological gaming and simulation systems lab, we're working on these kind of issues of risks and benefits of AI and the digital technologies. We have NSF-funded projects and also some NOAA-funded projects. I just have a question in terms of there are risks are emerging in terms of all these fake news and deep fake news, and how digital technologies are being used to kind of like polarize societies in terms of through memes and what we see in terms of the like evolution of this kind of like movements that we are seeing, right? So, I'm wondering like social movements. I was wondering like those kind of like the polarization the risks of these kind of technologies. How would those risks weigh against the two benefit sides that we're working on funded projects? So one of them is like we're trying to develop these using social media and AI for setting up like multi-hazard early warning, early action systems that can take the AI-based satellite data sets and sensors and do data fusion to actually make near real-time or early warning, early action system forecasts and actually tell people how to do that. So those are like great benefits of these technologies. But you need to interface those with like Facebook and all these other social media technologies where those memes that are countering to these kind of information that we want to provide to the people to be engaged with those issues. Or similarly for AI can be used for changing like people to have more sustainable behaviors that reduce the carbon footprint. So for example, people enabling those technologies that enable public transportation sharing, eating organic food, or living in green buildings that are kind of like have less carbon footprint. So I was wondering like how do you see those risks and benefits and what can we do to kind of like as a community to reduce the risks that we face? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for flagging this. It's really very important questions because it's with AI generated visuals and so it's irritating. It's the era of photos or videos of being proof of anything is over. So it's the whole understanding of what is a fact is somehow to be newly defined, and it's really a big topic. So, but as you said, you are using it also for behavior change, and so that's what we are trying to do. And there on the side we have an image of the efforts that we are doing on developing an individual SDGs and climate action app. And with the idea that everybody would like to have an app. A city would like to have an app. Each UN organization would like to have an app to engage people. So there are so many efforts, but these solutions don't talk to one another. So we need to have now a global consortium of digital solution providers who create a shared standard of digital identities, a shared standard of action and impact reporting, a shared standard for verification, and a global SDG action registry where this kind of individual localized action is then in a global registry and can then be used for incentivization through gamification or through micro-entrepreneurship models with global resources. So local action nurtured and connected with global resources. And for this we have also this effort of an individual SDGs action app. It's also part of the program that we are envisaging with UNIDO. And also we are working, as you mentioned, early warning, we are also working with UN Environment, with the UN Geospatial Information Network. We had a session yesterday at our pavilion. It can be watched on our YouTube channel, IAAI GloCha YouTube channel. And there is also the understanding that the existing structures, UN-led structures, they are between national authorities and the agencies under them, but that the citizens have huge data potentials and ideas generation potential, early warning, recognition potential, and we are working there on building a data interface between the public providers and users of data and the citizen science level, and open to anybody in this field who have solutions that will help us get to workable individual SDGs and climate action app quickly, because we don't have time. We have to work together and get on the next level quickly. Yeah? And Arit, you have something?
Yeah, a great question. I second everything that Miro said, but I just want to flag 2 points here. So one is e-governance, and the other one is digital literacy. So I'm not a big fan of e-governance to begin with. Why I'm saying that? Because governance means regulations. Often that comes with it. And if we are trying to govern through regulation, what is inevitable, as we are seeing. I teach courses where assignments are submitted. So now it's very difficult to distinguish whether a student wrote the assignment himself or herself, or is it ChatGPT that came out. So we need to really rethink how we are going to assess the whole system. And that's part of actually the whole system there. As you see, falsehoods of information, what's going out in the social media. So what is key here, in my view, is the digital literacy. Because we need to really rethink how we function as a humanity. I mean, Noah Harari asked that question. So what's the point of humanity in the rise of AI? And I think that actually centers the whole discussion here, as you brought up. So it's not the fallacy of the digital technology. It's not the fallacy of the AI. It's a fallacy in my mind of the e-governance, and the fallacy that we are not knowing actually what's happening. Actually, Steve Jobs said a beautiful thing before, that we know that our users are intelligent. So that's why we ask them before they make a decision. So it's actually up to them whether they're accepting it or not. I think that's the level of knowledge we need to create. So whatever is happening here, so everyone knows as a community, as an individual, that actually what is happening and what is happening with the data that they're providing, where they're providing the data, and how it is being utilized.
Yeah, if I may add to this, one important thing is the open source. So once everything is open source and we can agree on standards in technology, that we don't have to, have 10,000 platforms that don't communicate to one another. We have real interoperability. That will be a game changer. But again, it's a change in the mindset that we cannot be thriving in silos. Non-network or communities thrive in silos, and I believe we need to be very vocal about it. Just, from the level of society really demanding, accessibility to certain technologies that are essential to our well-being. And literacy is one of the really crucial elements, because there is a lot of aging population in Europe. There's a lot of young population in India, for example. I was in Bangalore this year. You have 3G. You cannot access the metaverse or NFTs or anything easy, Like in most places you have 3G. So solution providers have to take that into consideration, that you can work with the privileged part of the world, and this privileged part of the world, these communities are responsible for leading the way and for taking responsible decisions and taking care of the population that doesn't have access to these technologies. And we have, plenty of talented people, talented engineers, especially in India. It's like the home of engineering. There are so many companies, so many startups, and there's so much that can be done. But we need to, have this universal consciousness and agreement and share knowledge and be open source for absolutely every solution we provide, especially for targeting global challenges.
Yeah, I'm also 100% fan of open source. Any further questions, comments, suggestions? Okay, you are in? Okay, can you see any question? Okay, no. Any further comments? Matt, would you like to add something? Perhaps the perspective of UN system communicating. You said you have pitched your platform to them. You could speak there.
Yes, interoperability, it's a big issue. So especially, let's say, collecting data. Just yesterday we had a session. One of the channels on the platform will be dedicated collecting the energy data. Imagine, I have like a deja vu when financial TV started, where it was very difficult to collect data. What the difference happened when the APIs were unified, so that let's say, information system could easily collect finance data from stock exchanges, banks, and so on. So we had a real-time ticker tape going. So what we try to do on Rapido, it's really unify the industry to actually adopt similar standard to collect the data about energy use. Because it's too much focus on energy producers, where the big problem is energy consumption. So we have a lot of government incentives. Most of the incentives are really to already overreach energy producers. They actually do slightly better job. They increase their profit. On top, they get government subsidies, where the whole education on the issue should be, because otherwise we are in catch-22 situation. We ever consume more and more energy, so we'll never be able. It's actually ridiculous that in some countries, dirty sources like coal plants and so on been restarted because especially now with internet, AI, and so on, they increase. Basically, I'm in CDN business, so I know how costly it's to run the streaming, what you mentioned earlier. Like CDN consumes around 80% of energy of internet, it's consumed on video streaming. We know all this data firsthand because our main point is of our own approach. We totally innovated how we do the things, and we just recently we did comparison against Akamai, and our approach of doing things, we achieved 40% cost reduction. Obviously, cost, it's energy. The main, in the whole world, everything is linked to energy. So obviously, to have automation processes where production per unit consumes less energy, this is where it's not enough focus, not enough education on that. It's non-stop, oh, we need to have green sources. It will be never enough green sources if we don't put focus. We need to consume less electricity. We need to do things better. I mean, the fact we proved the point how easy it would be to reorganize global CDN infrastructure, and instantly we would consume huge amount of lesser energy.
Can you tell what CTN is?
One study which was very interesting, if USA alone, if just USA alone would put in force law that you can't run air condition below 20 degrees. I mean, for most humans, they feel comfortable between 22 to 25 degrees. So what's the point, even here, what's the point to run, you know, down to 18 degrees in America, even you go to Las Vegas, you know, 17 degrees just so they push you out of the room to casino. So if they would implement 20 degrees law, we don't have CFC problem anymore. Overnight, it goes away. Yet all this talk, and I really think UN, sorry to say, is totally impotent organization which talks a lot but does very little. And most of the governments the same, because once you, I am engineer by nation, all my life I collect stats and so on, and everybody knows how easy it would be to really reduce most of the problem just by implementing, you know, straightforward law. We have all sorts of crazy laws, you know, which are totally ridiculous, where important stuff is not addressed.
This is why we need to include civil society and entrepreneurs in the dialogue.
Yes, exactly.
This is what we're doing here.
And with this, we are starting a concluding round among the panelists, and we start with Arvid.
Well, I would just like to thank you for this inspiring discussion that we have, particularly Irina, for and thanks to Miro, obviously. I mean, to making this happen. I remember he telling in one of the events where one of the UN secretary was there about making this treaty about beating blasting pollution. And he said, I don't like treaties because I know that they are made, but they never made it to the action because they never connect to the communities. So that's what we are doing here, to bring these community voices so they can inform the negotiation in here. And I think we are on a good way.
Domenico?
So I concur on the thanks on Miro, of course, but also to Irina. A special thanks for her talk that I think that every one of us need to listen. And properly following that, my final words will be, let's use the digital space and the platform to create a more collaborative world. That's it.
Bravo. Margaret?
Talk about the data a little bit. The Web3 is a good thing is a digital, decentralized identity. So everything that you do is like traceability, also the digital passport. So if the consumer is consuming something, everything become visible. So like for example, so I think this technology makes like really easy to understand to be more efficient. So I believe in that. But anyway, as an artist, I'm really happy to participate in Digital Art for Climate Action, and we all together make the world a really beautiful place. And I hope more people to awake, become more like aware of this problem, and we all together make the future and the world make more beautiful place. You know, I hope. So thank you so much for the chance.
Organizations consist of people. So we can make any organization an amazing organization, and we can make our world an amazing place. More and more we're shifting towards knowledge community, and I said that the 21st century will be the century of communities because we're all now connected through the digital means. We're all on a mission to make information more accessible, dialogue more inclusive, and actions more visible. And I believe that we are in the right path, and what we are doing with Digital Innovation Pavilion is really making me very hopeful for the impact we can achieve. Because we need to bring more bright people who believe, who act, who change, who are not afraid. And we're going to be successful in our journey to transformative digital transformation, art transformation, inspiration, and action.
Bravo.
I truly believe that we can have a better world with art and culture. So I want to encourage you all to express yourself, to let your soul to express. It doesn't have to be digital art. Sing, play an instrument, dance, draw, illustrate, but let your soul express. That is going to get us a better world.
Very beautiful. We had also in our first Digital Art for Climate competition finalist round an artwork which said, heal yourself to heal the world, and it's really beautiful. Sun Yong, would you like to say concluding remarks on the podium, perhaps? On the podium, there's the microphone. This should work.
When we started the event, I introduced UNIDO by saying that our mandate is sustainable development. To be more accurate, our mandate is inclusive and sustainable development. So I've been enjoying this conversation. Thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of it. I am inspired, and I hope that all together we can make a big change for climate action. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. This was perfect concluding words. Thanks everyone for your time, for your patience, and for whatever you are doing for the local and global common good. A better world is possible. We are unstoppable.
Yes.